and welcome to my channel. In today's video I really wanted to share with you how I survived really the first trimester, but especially the morning sickness stage. I got hit with a sickness so badly I honestly did not know what had hit me. I ended up in hospital and it took about 8 bags of fluid to rehydrate me. It was really scary. I'd never been dehydrated before and I just totally could not pee, and the one time that I did manage to pee, it was like black tea. It was so scary to be that ill and that dehydrated. So I do have quite a list of things that I found helped me get better, so I thought I would share them with you today because I know there is nothing worse than suffering with sickness. So on that note, let's get into this video. First thing that I swear by is homeopathic remedies. So I actually got this labour kit when I was pregnant with Leo, and in it you have all the remedies that you could possibly need whilst pregnant. And what's amazing is the way the homeopathy works is that it goes very based by what your symptoms are. So down below I'll leave a link for you and you can kind of like look at what type of sickness that you're suffering with, and from there you can make the decision of what remedy to take. For me, my sickness was like I was just totally ill. It made me really emotional and I ended up taken pulsatilla, and it was actually a remedy that would just call out to me, so I knew that it was one that would really work. And after taking it, it really did help me calm down. It helped ease my sickness and it definitely kept me out of hospital for weeks on end. I was really ill for about a month, and it was only at the end of that month my body had just started to have enough. So that remedy had managed to keep me at my most sickest stage for 3 whole weeks before I ended up needing to get some hospital help. Always an amazing option to seek out a homeopathic doctor. If you live in London, you can ask to be referred by your GP to the Royal Hospital of Integrated Medicine. That is where I was seen when I lived in London, and it's honestly amazing. It's free. What was really funny is that I hadn't even realised I drank this when I was pregnant with Leo, and it's Prudley's natural energy drink, but what it is full of is the vitamin B vitamins, like vitamin B12, vitamin B6, all of them, vitamin B3, all of them, okay? And when you suffer with morning sickness, you're often deficient on a lot of the B vitamins, which means you'll end up feeling a lot more poorly. So I just randomly picked up this again, and couple of sips, and it just really helped me feel better. And even though I'm past the morning sickness stage, I find if I don't have some of this every now and then, I start to gag at certain things again. So I'm like, okay, yeah, time to get some of that vitamin B drink down me. So yeah, I really do recommend this. It really did help me just rejuvenate and feel better. My morning sickness was really triggered by hunger, and the second that I got hungry I would start throwing up. So for me it was a race against time to eat before I got this tiniest little hunger pang. So as soon as I opened my eyes I would eat a cracker. I would just, eat as much as I could, just as regularly as I could. The things that I found so helpful is Y food. So one of these equals 500 calories, so it's like a meal. And what's amazing is they come with this really handy Y food cup, and it tells you your measurements of how much powder you put in and how much water. And honestly, this managed to keep me out of hospital as well, as it was just something to put something in my tummy when I couldn't even manage chewing anything. It was just a really helpful way to not get sick, and it tastes pretty good as well, I must say. And it's also full of all your vitamins as well, so it's another way of getting everything that you need if you're not being able to keep food down, but you're managing to keep small sips of liquid. So I would just work myself through some of these, and to make it even nicer I'd also add ice cubes. I just found that made it just a bit more easy to take because it was nice and cold, and it was just a small sip every 5 minutes, and before I knew it, I'd had a 500 calorie meal. Really try and distract myself while sick by either doing Sudokus. To be honest, I couldn't even look at my phone. I totally fell behind on all my social medias and everything like that. It was too much to look at my phone. It just made me feel really ill. So I'd either do a Sudoku or I'd try and do some dishes if I felt up to it. And that is when I fell upon the smell of lavender. So we use natural washing up liquids and bars and things like that, and most of them are lavender scented. And I noticed I was feeling really ill, but before I started washing up, and I just kept smelling the lavender and I started to feel better. So I decided to get my old diffuser out and get some lavender oil, and lo and behold, just having that on helped just ease the symptoms like a little bit, helped me relax, and I would say that it definitely helped me get better. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the biggest factor of them all, but it's definitely something that helped. And I know when you're not feeling well, just something that will help a little bit goes a long way, so I thought it was well worth mentioning. So when it comes to food, things like oatcakes with a very thin slice of cheese or popcorn were amazing. No, it was just something that was very easy to eat, and it soaks up any acid, as that's another thing for me. The sickness also was very acid based. If I had too much acid building up, then I would find myself getting sick, so I had to be really careful what I ate and making sure that I ate things to kind of calm the acid down and keep it at a minimal. So if, like me, you find yourself needing to go to hospital, I'd say just go in, accept the fluids, get the sickness medication, but just make sure that you are told the side effects, as I wasn't, and I was given one that I really shouldn't have been given before 12 weeks, and I kind of freaked out about it, but thankfully with scans they've determined that it hasn't had the side effect risk on it. But that's something that you should really look into when it comes to taking the sickness medication. One thing I will say is that when you start to feel better, you will be like, is it me? Is it the sickness tablets? Whatever. So my suggestion is that if you want to come off them really slowly by halving the tablets and then quartering the tablets and coming off them gradually that way. If you went cold turkey, which I did try, you just get like, it's too much for your body to handle. I went on to half a tablet and then a quarter of a tablet within about 2 weeks time, and I was off of them, and I've been off of them since, which I'm really happy about. The only way that I found that I could have taken my vitamins whilst being so poorly was right before I went to bed, as that was the only time I got a bit of peace from the sickness, as whilst I was sleeping. So I went for these My Kind organic whole food vitamins. So these are completely natural, there is no synthetic ingredients in these, and they're all from like food based. You can just see on the instructions like the vitamin E came from carrots, which is great to know. So I really like these, and I found that taking them right before I went to bed with a really small sip of water just helped them stay in my tummy, and I was able to get all the nutrition that I needed even though I was throwing up so much. I also wanted to let you know that I have a discount if you'd like to try the Y food in my description box down below. I believe it is Claire 10, but just double check it because it's been so long since I looked at it. And I will also leave a link to the Y food, the Helios homeopathic kit. I will leave a link to everything that I can down below in the description box for you. Also worth joining a Facebook group. I joined a sickness group on Facebook, and it was full of women that were going for the same thing, all feeling ill. But I did find eventually that it was too much for me to be in, especially when I was starting to feel better, and some people were telling me horror stories of how their sickness lasted way longer than I had anticipated. So to be honest, I did leave that group, and I did feel more positive and more calm once leaving it, but it was really helpful to be in a group where there was other people feeling the exact same way as you, and you could just talk to them and, you know, put up a post about, oh, you know, whatever you want to put a post up about, and just have that moral support from other people that are going through the same thing. But I will say, if you feel like it's starting to drag you down and make you feel negative, do get out of there. The last thing you need to hear is somebody that's still sick 2 years after they're not even pregnant anymore. I mean, like, that is a hormone problem that they really need to get checked out on. But yeah, so just be aware of that. Facebook groups are amazing, but if they don't make you feel happy and like you're supported, leave. I just really wanted to stress is please don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's just morning sickness, or oh, everybody gets that. It's really not. It can be so extreme, and it really can really affect your pregnancy and how you're feeling. So if you're really feeling like you're not coping, you're vomiting every sip or every bite of food that you have, do just take yourself into the hospital, because they can help you before it gets really serious the way it did for me. And you know, there is a lot of things you can do naturally, but I think it just being like brushing it off like it's just morning sickness and treating somebody like it's just morning sickness, why are you being so like that for, is really horrible. It's such a horrible feeling to be so sick, and don't let anybody for a second make you feel like you shouldn't be the way you're feeling, because it is atrocious when you suffer with it. And I really do hope that you feel better soon. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next one. Take care and love to you all.